We just said on Lancs TV that until it's mathematically done, things are not yet set for you in the quarterfinals. But given how everybody else seems to be beating each other and you remain top of the group without playing over the last few days when they've been doing that, you're sitting particularly pretty.
Yeah, we're in a good spot, and yeah, we obviously want to extend it and keep playing good cricket. Going into hopefully quarterfinals, you do want a bit of momentum, so we want to keep playing good cricket and hopefully stay in that winning habit.
Now, you've got some England players still away, you've got an England player back, you've got a captain who's not here, so you're stepping up, but all sorts of changes that you can perhaps tell us about now.
Yeah, a couple of changes. Parky and Keats miss out just due to little niggles, and George Bell comes in for Dane to make his debut. So exciting game for him, and yeah, we've got Luke Wood coming in as well from his England duties, so he'll be ready and raring to go.
We will have some fun talking about George and what that prospect brings behind the stumps, but for now, Crofty, thank you very much indeed. That's Stephen Croft, the captain for Lancashire Light today, but it is Durham who have won the toss, and they will be chasing. We spent some time pre-match in the company of the representative of Blackpool, Stephen Croft. Well, it just so happens, and I did know this and wanted to save him for today's game, that there is a second spokesperson for this great town of Blackpool, and it is Richard Gleeson. Richard, thank you for spending some time with us. We asked Crofty on Sunday if he could do a little pitch for those global viewers who don't necessarily know Blackpool. He did a terrible job. So over to you, Richard, to tell us a little bit about all the glitz and glamour that most people who live here and can travel here can enjoy. And I don't mean that to be demeaning. I do it because I've spent many a weekend here and enjoyed it very much.
The Vegas of the North is
there we go.
How I've best heard it
Thank
described. You. Anything you want, you can find it in Blackpool. We've got a big tower, fairgrounds, we've got the big one,
yes.
Biggest roller coaster. We've got it all. We've got this beautiful cricket ground as well in the middle of Stanley Park, so everything you want is in Blackpool.
Quite right too, and thank you. We'll make a note of that and tell the tourist board about that. You can't quite see from where we are the Blackpool Tower, the famous Blackpool Tower, but it is visible from the cricket club, so that at the very least is your entry point into Blackpool and what it can give. Richard, a word about your T20 campaign so far, because we spoke at the beginning. You were so pleased to be back after the back problems that you'd had, and now all of a sudden second in the bowling wicket-taking standings. A brilliant performance, particularly against today's opponents in that first game, even in defeat. You must be so pleased, relieved. How do you sense this campaign has gone for you?
Yeah, a mixture of all the emotions. Really pleased that I'm back out on the park, and just great to be contributing to performances for Lancs. Winning games, that's what it's about. But obviously on a personal level, taking wickets and performing and and just being out there and sending it down with a bit behind it is quite nice. So yeah, really happy to be back out there.
I don't want you to oversimplify your art, so let's drill down a little bit, particularly on the Yorkers, because it is perhaps to the point of cliche that if you get your Yorker right as a fast bowler in this format of the game, you will be difficult to get away and you will also take wickets. Now, there are people who have formed an entire career on the basis that they can bowl good Yorkers. So how pleased that you are getting that skill, more often than not, absolutely spot on.
Yeah, like you say, it is something that is renowned around the world. If you can nail your Yorker as a fast bowler, you're going to be somewhere near. And that has been a strength of mine in the past. Obviously, with injuries, it takes away from your skill a little bit. So to be clear from that, I think that's just highlighted my Yorkers again as a real strength. And if you can nail it and get it in the block hole, not only are you going to go for no runs, but wickets is always an option. So it's definitely something I do work on quite a bit.
And at the beginning and at the end of the innings, it doesn't have to just be death bowling that you do Yorkers. You could stem a flow of runs in the power play as well.
Yeah, too right. Obviously, the power play is a big time for the batting team to try and get some runs. So if you can throw that in there as a bit of a surprise, and again, wickets up top, because it tends to be heavy up top with the batting power. So yeah, if you can sneak a couple out and get a couple of dot balls, bonus both ways.
And a final point, the 4 wickets you got against Durham in the first game were all bowled. So it is, again, I don't want to oversimplify this, but for a layman to feel that, to see that happening, take us through what that feels like.
You like to see those stumps cartwheeling, so that is just going for glory. The situation, I think, at the back end, it was made for me to go in and try and bowl Yorkers. Obviously, they were in a strong position and we needed wickets, so that was probably the most likely way to try and get it. And bowl straight, hope they miss sometimes.
And then you'll hit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there are, Mikey Holding says that a lot, and so why not go to that philosophy. Richard, good luck today. Thank you very much indeed for joining us, and there'll be extra scrutiny from all our viewers on not only the Blackpool tab, but also your Yorkers. Go well today. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
It is the Vitality Blast T20 North Group game between Lancashire Lightning and Durham. The teams can be confirmed from what the captains told us at the toss, and they are these. The Durham team is the following. Number 10, Michael Jones. Number 7, Graham Clark. Number 21, Ollie Robinson. Number 70 is the captain, Ashton Turner. Number 23, Paul Coughlin. Number 66, Ned Eckersley. 80 is Liam Travaskis. Number 44, Ben Rain. 16 is Scott Borthwick. 72 is Nathan Souter, and 68 is Andrew Tye. And for the Lightning this afternoon here in Blackpool, it's number 3, Luke Wells, number 20, Josh Bohannon, number 15, Stephen Croft, who captains the side today. Nate making his debut for the Lancashire Lightning, and indeed for Lancashire in any senior form. Number 17, George Bell. Number 16, Tim David. 12 is Rob Jones. 14, returning from England international duty, is Luke Wood. 26, Danny Lamb. Number 8, Tom Bailey. 2 is Tom Hartley. And 11, we've just heard from him on Lancs TV, is Richard Gleeson. decided to bowl first, so they will be chasing, much like the Lightning did on Sunday, so successfully chasing down 180 against Notts. But it is to today's game that we turn with Warren Hegg, and a particularly special moment for George Bell, 19 years old. And Warren, it's rather suitable that we have you here, because not only are you a former wicketkeeper, he has followed, up until this point, a remarkably similar path to you when you made your first appearance for Lancashire all those years ago.
1986 it was, to be exact, Hugh. And yeah, you're absolutely right what you say about Belly. Delighted that he's making his debut here today, and well deserved, may I add. Very, very similar to my situation. He was number 3, number 4 on the pecking order, and through international selection, through the odd injury, he gets his chance. And you know what? He's that kind of character, Hugh, that'll grab that chance with both hands. And I'm really looking forward to see how he performs today.
Yeah, one of 3 Lancashire players who played for the England team in the Under-19s World Cup earlier on this season. They got through, earlier on this year, I should say. They got through to the final, lost to India, but he really did pull up some trees, as did his 2 teammates. But he is a slight fella, we'll see later. He is diminutive, but you've told me that that does not represent his strength, not only with the gloves and his ability behind the stumps, but also with his batting.
He's a modern-day cricketer. We see these modern-day cricketers now. They can score 360 degrees around the park. You know, he can hit strong, he can hit big straight. He's good at square of the wickets. He's got the ramps, he's got the sweeps. He's got everything that modern-day batsman needs to succeed in white ball cricket. But his keeping as well. His keeping's come on absolutely fantastically over the last couple of years. He's done a lot of good work with Carl Cricken, the wicket-keeping coach, second team coach, so he's ready for this opportunity.
Just 19 years old, that is an extraordinary thing, and it's we would normally say a baptism of fire in this competition, playing T20, but it's rather nice, I suppose, to be eased in a game which has some riding on it, but not a huge amount because of how strong Lancashire are in the group at the moment, at an out ground with a very friendly, supportive crowd. He's a Cheshire lad, so he's probably had to come as far as any local boy to come up to Blackpool, but nonetheless the environment for him in which to succeed is very much made up for him.
Very much so, and you know, coming here to Blackpool is great, but it could be at Lord's, it could be at the Oval, it could be at headquarters at Emirates, Old Trafford. His thoughts about this game are going to be all what he can do to knock on the coach's door to say, I'm ready to play first team cricket, and Belly's that kind of person.
Yeah, Joss Butler could keep wicket, Phil Salt would keep wicket. He's coming back tomorrow, incidentally, and then of course Dane Villas would keep wicket. So that's the 3 that stand in front. George Lavelle as well, but he's injured. So those are the 3 that stand in front. Just like Warren Hegg, you know, players of international quality have made way for George Bell to allow Warren to come in. 1986. I'm going to say it just for a second time, so you appreciate the age of the man. Warren, thank you for a moment. We'll be back in just a moment. But we wanted to introduce you, just if you're like George and you're coming to this game for the first time, to T20 cricket.
Each match is played by 2 teams of 11 players. Some are batters, some are bowlers, and there's 1 wicket-keeper. Both teams have a chance to bat and bowl. Look out for the coin toss. That's how they decide which team bats or bowls first. Each team has 20 overs to score as many runs as possible. The team with the most runs wins the game. 1 over is made up of 6 good deliveries from the bowler. To score runs, batters hit the ball and run between the stumps. If the ball reaches the boundary, it's 4 runs, and if it gets there without bouncing, that's a 6. While the batting team are scoring runs, the bowling team are trying to stop them and get the batters out by taking wickets. A few ways batters can be out are bowled, caught, run out, stumped, and LBW. Watch out for signals from the umpires, 4s, 6s, wickets, and these when a bad delivery has been bowled. Bad deliveries add runs to the batting team's score, and the bowler must bowl an extra ball. If you see the umpire doing this, the next ball is a free hit, and the batter cannot be out, bowled, caught, LBW, or stumped. And those are all the basics you need to know to get behind your team in this year's Vitality Blast competition.
women's cricket has come so far in the last couple of years. It's just stepping up year after year after year.
So this familiar surroundings here at Blackpool for the women's team. The Thunder have played many a game here. The old Kia Super League, remember that? That took place here, so they'll be very pleased in seeing the crowd come out once again. It is the Vitality Blast, the North Group, and Lancashire attempts to really seal that quarter-final spot. It won't be mathematically done, but we at least know that it'll be much, much closer. And Warren Hegg, who's still alongside me, it is interesting. I said to Stephen Croft at the toss, if you look at the top four, which take up the quarter-final places from this group, you've got Lancashire on 15 points, and then 3 teams on 14, which you would normally think, hang on a minute, that's a bit of a threat, but they all keep on beating each other and then beating the ones below. So there's a bit of a gap forming, which will suit Lancashire, because if they want to really progress with a quarter-final at home, they want to finish in those top 2 spots.
Absolutely right, and Glenn Chappell, head coach Glenn Chappell, will be focusing entirely on his team's performance. He'll want to go at every game, win every single game, regardless of who's below him, regardless how close they are to getting and knocking us off that top spot. He'll want to be winning his game. His major focus will be there, Hugh.
Yeah, it's interesting because quite often you have a kind of a 2-tier North Group. You have the test grounds and the big counties doing well, and then you will have the others. But it's actually been really mixed. You see the Northants form over the course of the last few weeks. I appreciate that Birmingham beat them last night in another thrilling game, both getting over 200. There's a real depth of quality in this North Group at the moment.
You know, 2020 at the moment now, every county that plays 2020 cricket is developing. They're learning about the game year in, year out. Some great coaches coming over. They're well drilled. They've got the stats there ready. So everyone is a threat these days, and it just takes, as you know, you've seen enough 2020 cricket, it takes a spell of that 20 overs to take the game away from the other side, or to really push on. So, you know, there's no easy games anymore, and this game, so Durham have not won many games, but you know what? It's not a foregone conclusion.
Yeah, second from bottom, Durham at the moment, and clearly, as you say, only won 3 of their games so far. But you look at just the talent that they've brought in, let alone the depth of talent that they had already. They've got the captain, Ashton Turner, who we spoke to, who you've signed for the Manchester Originals, so you know how good he is. He is a Perth Scorchers captain. He led them to the BBL title this year. We've got Andrew Tye, another stalwart of this format of the game. So successful, multi-franchise success for Andrew Tye. He's got a 5 in this competition already. He's with Richard Gleeson second on the bowling rankings in terms of wickets taken. So Lancashire will be favourites, and their home form is spectacular, even here after Sunday. But still, nothing is a given. And like Stephen Croft said, like we said earlier, when it's not a given, you've got to make sure you drive it home and get that home quarter-final.
Absolutely. Durham that you just mentioned, you mentioned Tye there, an IPL player, a player that's played all over the world. But, you know, no disrespect to Durham, they're not a team full of household names, unlike the Outlaws that we played over the weekend. But, you know, you never outclass this team. They are a team that have got lots of history, lots of heritage, lots of pride of playing cricket for Durham, so they'll be right up for today's game.
And it's an interesting Lancashire team as well because of all the issues with those England players. One's back, Luke Wood, but not yet for Phil Salt and Liam Livingstone, who's now taking a bit of a break. Joss Butler might be back over the course of the next few days, but we don't know. So it's a little bit of a different Lancashire Lightning side, so the test will still be there for them. For the moment, Warren, thank you very much indeed. And now you're going to come and join me because we introduced this to our stream viewers on Sunday. It is a marquee that houses the great and the good of the press and the broadcasters. So it's just important. I appreciate that you get to see him plenty anyway. But there you see, he's front right. He gets to see the best of the cricket, because if you sit on the left-hand side of the marquee, you get blocked off. So that's why he's gone there. He's put himself down. He's not letting anybody sit anywhere near him. Scott, over to you.
Thank you, Hugh. Yeah, well, I mean, I've got a front row view. I've got a camera looking right at me, which is absolutely, you need to sort your focus out and move it a little bit to the left. That'd be lovely. But yeah, we've got a great view here right on the front row. I was just kind of running through the permutations in the North Group. Paul Horton, former Lancashire title winner, will be joining us in the next few minutes as well. I think he's caught in a little bit of traffic. But I was just running through the permutations of the North Group and looking at how it stands at the minute. Lancashire Lightning sitting proudly at the top with 15 points. Birmingham Bears are second with 14. Derbyshire Falcons are third with 14 points, and the Northamptonshire Steelbacks are fourth, also with 14 points. So second, third and fourth are all level on 14. Lancashire just a point better off. The upshot of all this is basically, if Lancashire win tonight, and if they win tomorrow at Derbyshire, then they are mathematically certain of a home quarter-final. So it's very much in their own hands to make sure they're playing at Emirates Old Trafford in the knockout stage. Priority, of course, is to make sure they get there, but they're effectively kind of at least one big step towards it, if not two. Crowd is just starting to build up a little bit, which is nice. I think there are still 1 or 2 tickets available. There's a sellout on Sunday, but looks terrific. Stanley Park again with almost most seats taken, and the forecast is excellent. It's a perfect night for a nice cool drink as well. So maybe the bars and the hospitality tents are doing a good trade. But certainly shorts and t-shirt weather. I suspect it'd be quite warm for Lanky in that mascot uniform. He might be pretty hot under the collar in that uniform. So for everybody who may be just joining our coverage, whether it's on Lancs TV or the BBC Sport website and the app, let me run through the Lancashire side for you again. And I know viewers on Lancs TV have been already discussing the debutant, George Bell, which is a terrific afternoon for him. Young 19-year-old wicket-keeper batter who has played with England's under-19s. So he makes his debut. Be a few butterflies in the stomach for him, but I'm sure he'd relish in the prospect of making his home debut. This is our Lancashire lineup: Luke Wells and Josh Bohannon. Stephen Croft will be captain. Mr. Blackpool not out on Sunday to help the team beat the Notts Outlaws. He skippers the side because Dane Velas is unavailable. He's suspended for this fixture. And then it's George Bell, Tim David, Rob Jones, Luke Wood, Danny Lamb, Tom Bailey, Tom Hartley and Richard Gleeson make up the Lancashire side. As for Durham, they've got Michael Jones and Graham Clark, Ollie Robinson, Ashton Turner, Paul Coghlan, Ned Eckersley, Liam Travaskis, Ben Rain, Scott Borthwick, Nathan Souter and A.J. Ty making up the Durham side. We've got a 5:30 start, so we're only a few minutes away from the start. Everyone's settling into position. Maybe heading for a pre-match burger. I'd save that until at least the second half of the game. You don't want to be going early with your pre-match burger. I'm pretty certain about that. You might want a couple of those cold pints first, just to build up before you get to the old old greasy burger. We're waiting for the arrival of the players. I am wary that there might be a little bit slightly dodgy weather later on. There's a suggestion it might be a little rainy later on, but hopefully that won't have a massive impact on it, and the game will be done before, if there are any showers, the game will be done before that occurs. But something to keep an eye on, the possibility we might get a little bit of rain around on the Fylde coast, but it's not scheduled to arrive until after 8 o'clock. The umpires are on their way. Delighted that Paul Horton is settling into position alongside me. Good afternoon, Paul.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. You've got shorts and t-shirt as well, like that, yeah?
Yeah, shorts and t-shirt.
Yeah.
My customary glasses I had on the other day.
Absolutely. Well, they do look smart.
They do, yes. Honestly, I'm looking at potentially some darker clouds in the distance.
Yeah. I was hoping to ignore that just for the time being, but yeah, you're right to flag it up. It's a wise thing to do.
It's a lot. Look, it's a short game, isn't it? We've just need a couple of hours. I think we'll be okay. An exciting game. There's a lot of crowd coming in. It took me a bit of time to get in. Actually, traffic was quite bad. But I've not driven through any rain, so that's an ominous sign. So that's good.
Okay, we're not too far away from the start. We're about 3 minutes away from Lancashire Lightning against Durham.
We hope you enjoy your visit and today's match. On behalf of Emirates and Lancashire Cricket, we would like to thank you for your support of the Red Rose and wish you all the best across the season. Get ready, as it's now time to announce the teams. So strap yourself in for the ride and enjoy.
So here is the Lancashire Lightning team for today's North Group game of the Vitality Blast T20. It's number 3, Luke Wells. Number 20, Josh Bohannon. 15 is the captain, Stephen Croft. Number 17, George Bell. 16, Tim David. Number 12, Rob Jones. 14 is Luke Wood. 26, Danny Lamb. Number 8, Tom Bailey. Number 2, Tom Hartley. And number 11, Richard Gleeson. So it's time to welcome onto the field our umpires for today's game, Paul Baldwin and Ben Debenham. Led by captain Ashton Turner, please welcome Durham. And please welcome to open the batting for the Lightning, number 3, Luke Wells, and number 20, Josh Bohannon.
So, this is it. One step towards it, big step towards it. 2 wins away, mathematically, regardless of what happens, guarantees Lancashire a quarter-final spot. 2 opening batters are walking out, Luke Wells and Josh Bohannon, to open up the batting for Lancashire Lightning. Durham have won the toss and are bowling first. And we'll see how the evening progresses. I think at some stage we're going to try something quite exciting and speak to one of the players on the outfield throughout the course of the game, but we'll see if the technology works for that. But I'm sure it will at some point. So we might be hearing from one of the players out in the middle.
Do we have a player mic'd up? Is that right?
We do, and we're going to see if it works.
Great.
If all the plugs are in the right socket, that type of thing, you know, which is way above my level of understanding. Before we do any of that, let's get ourselves focused on the game in hand. Durham win the toss and bowl first. And it will be Luke Wells on strike for Lancashire Lightning. Oh, there are some clouds in the distance. Slip in place. Chipped away into the onside. And Lancashire Lightning have their first run. A little flick away through the onside by Luke Wells, who opens the batting with Keaton Jennings. With Josh Bohannon, sorry, in the absence of Keaton Jennings. George Bell, a debutant for Lancashire in this fixture, replacing Dane Velas, who is suspended for the game. No Matt Parkinson. Luke Wood returns, having been released to play in this fixture by England. So Durham win the toss. Lancashire Lightning are batting first. We're in the first over, the one without loss. And here's Rain to Bohannon, dropped away into the offside, and there is no run. Lancashire obviously playing here on Sunday. You and I were here on Sunday, Paul. So they've battered on the pitch once. They reckon that, as indeed you did, that knots were light on Sunday, possibly by as many as 25, 30. So they've got an idea, haven't they, as to what they need here. Batting first.
Yeah, they do. Obviously, slightly second time around, it's a different, slightly different wicket, but not too much of a different wicket. We thought, I thought 200 was a good score the other day. I think if Notts had got 200, then it would have been a lot closer. And if obviously the guys thought there was 20, 25, that's about right. Okay. Yeah, maybe again, that's what they'll be targeting.
Here's Rain to Bohannon. That's flicked away off the pads out towards deep backward square leg. And he's through for his first run as well. Score moves on to 2 without loss in the first over.
But I think if Lancashire can get a total on the board, if they can get 180 plus with their bowling lineup, obviously they're missing Matt Parkinson today, but the form that Richard Gleeson has been in, the experience bringing Luke Wood back from England duty, I think 180 Lancashire would definitely really complete. It might be just par, but they would really put Durham under pressure for that. It'd be a big chase.
Ben Rain for Durham running in towards us. Wells on strike. She's driven to mid-off, and there's no one. So used to seeing Keaton Jennings, who's also a tall left-hand opening batter, just like Luke Wells.
It is, and obviously, normally in the field you sort of get a mistake, and they're very similar frames, big tall guys, bat left-handed. And I think Durham may have bowled because of impending weather potentially, and Duckworth Lewis. So it's always seemed to be found that if you're chasing, you sort of know what you've got to chase. Lancashire will set off now thinking they're going to get 20 overs. That could change, and then obviously, if Durham have 10 overs to get, they got 10 wickets in hand, haven't they? So that might be the reason why they bowled first.
Here's Rain to Wells. That's 4 down towards fine leg, just helped on its way down towards the fine leg boundary, retrieved in the crowd, and the first 4 of the match off the bat of Luke Wells.
And what we found the other day, and Lancashire will know that, Durham potentially won't, is obviously the ball ended up being, scoring shots became square. There's a bit of bounce, extra bounce in this surface, so scoring square and behind the wicket became more prominent than actually going over the top down the ground. The 6s and 4s were scored mainly square of the wicket and behind the wicket, and that was because of the extra bit of bounce in the surface. And also you need, as a bowler, to bowl a bit fuller to understand that, and that can be hard sometimes.
You've got a very young spectator in front of the side. There he is. Go on, lad, off you go. He's just drifted across. His dad says, "Come on, what are you doing? You can't go wandering out about in front of the side screen." Oh dear. Never mind, son. There's Rain. Balls to Wells. That's nudged away towards mid-wicket, and there's no run.
I'm not sure if it was really his dad calling him. It was the Lanky on the other side at wide long on was running at him. He had a big 9-foot giraffe running at him at pace. The small young lad wanted to run back to his dad because he had a giraffe running at him on the other side of mid-off. Lanky obviously was going to help him, but he certainly moved the kid when he saw the giraffe move.
He went tearing in the other direction as Lanky came airing after him. He was having a good day out. Hey, I'll sit here, don't move.
And let's hope the rain doesn't spoil this. It's a wonderful event again. Sunday was a great game and a great event, a great spectacle, and the crowd has poured in again tonight on a Thursday night. The weather's been great again, 28, but let's hope we don't get a storm to ruin it. There's not much shade or cover. We are okay here in the media marquee.
Well done.
But some of the supporters will be ducking for cover.
Paul Coughlin running away from our marquee. Flicked away by Bohannon, up towards mid-on, not picked up cleanly. Come back for 2. They might even flirt with a 3rd. Oh, they are. They're going to run 3 on the misfield. It's a good running by Luke Wells and by Josh Bohannon, not picked up at mid-on.
Well, I did say the other day you wouldn't get a 3, and that is an amazing turn of space. That shows how quick Josh Bohannon is. Andrew Tye tried to field it with one hand to attack it because Bohannon knocked it to him at mid-on and put him under pressure. He missed it. He then jogged after it, and Bohannon got back for another 2. The bowler will be pretty upset with that.
Coughlin right arm over, balls. Oh, that loops up and into the onside of Luke Wells. But for no run. Lancashire Lightning lost at Durham a couple of weeks ago. AJ Tye had a terrific night at Chesley Street. 3 for 29, 3 for Nathan Souter as well, 3 for 22. A victory for Durham by 2 wickets. In the game in the northeast, it was Lancashire's first defeat. It ended their sequence actually of 6 successive T20 wins that night. Durham played well on what is usually a good ground for Lancashire. Coughlin balls, and that's up and over AJ Tye. And down towards that wide long off boundary, and 4 runs for Luke Wells, and Lancashire Lightning halfway into the second over, a 13 without loss.
Great shot by Wells. He's actually just a little bit over pitch, a bit wider, but just got it over the big tall Andrew Tye mid-off, who's under the pressure here in the first over. Tye and he's fielding. Coughlin's still not really happy after the first ball went for 3, but yeah, he's in. He comes again.
Wells waiting, And goes high through the onside this time, out towards kind of wide, long on. There's two players after it. It might land in between the pair of them, it does. And they've come back for a second. It was a big hit out towards that leg side boundary. It went high, and it landed safe in between two fielders. Liam Travaskis, one of them, coming after it, but Wells comes back for two. May have been concerned for a little while.
A little bit. I was more concerned with the fielders running into each other. It looked like no one had sort of called it. Turner had run from, mid-on, wide, mid-on, and it just never communicated it. There was no real danger for them, but Wells showing his form and his ability at the top, which is brilliant to see.
11 not out from 7 balls faced, 15 without loss, and that's forced away through the covers for 4 more. Beats the infield. There's a dive at short extra cover by Ben Rain. Went to his left. All along the ground, this from Luke Wells. It's in the bushes. It's gone for 4, 19 without loss.
Great shot by Wells. Overpitched again, slightly wide from Coughlin, and Wells in the form he is, and this ball he's striking at the moment. He's enjoyed that and he's crashed it, and he will enjoy this, Luke Wells. He's obviously in the form of his life after that big 4-day game and that victory in the 4th innings. Get a chance to go to the top in T20. You won't get this another day like this.
Coughlin balls to Wells. That's coming in our direction. It's up towards the media marquee. One bounce in between mid-off and mid-on, who were inside the ring. And 4 more to end the over. An expensive one, 17 off that over from Paul Coughlin. And Luke Wells certainly capitalising upon it. Good second over for Lancashire Lightning here at Stanley Park in Blackpool. 23 without loss.
Another great shot, another ball full of length, and Wells going down the ground over the top, and something that was the batters found harder the other day, so maybe the wicket slightly changed a little bit and it is a bit easier to go down the ground. Obviously Wells is making it look like that, but obviously I think Coughlin will still be upset by what happened. He shouldn't have been on strike, Wells, initially. Bohannon should have only been a 1, then it was Misfield. The Misfield should only have gone for 2, which meant Wells should not have been on strike, and then he's pumped 4 and a number of things. So
could be a grumpy bowler though.
He will be a grumpy bowler.
Be a grumpy captain too.
Potentially, yes. But yeah, great start from Wells, and also good that he's taken the lead. I think Bohannon is going to play a little bit of foil at the top once he gets in a little bit, and has done in the past with Jennings.
There's Ben Rain, over number 2 for him. Just dropped away into the offside by Bohannon. Borthwick coming up from point to field, went in between his fingers, but no run added. So we're starting the 3rd over of the game. Josh Bohannon opening the batting with Luke Wells. Your mate Stephen Moore, when he's with us for commentary, always says there is no better place to bat in T20. You want to be batting 1 or 2, and he's got a great chance here, hasn't he, Bohannon?
Yeah, he does, and he's been given opportunity for the last couple of games in this role.
There's Rain to Bohannon, just nudged back along the ground, and there's no run.
Actually spoke to Steve Moore on the way up here, so he sends his regards, Scott. He said he'll be available for any games within a 3-mile radius of his house at Old Trafford, and anyone that's further away, then send Horts to go and do it with you. So here I am at Blackpool again.
Doesn't travel, does he? Doesn't travel. No. 23 without loss. Bohannon, yeah, 3rd game at the top for him. Swing and a miss. No, edged it. Caught behind. Little thin edge off the bat of Bohannon. He departs for 4. And Lancashire Lightning lose their first wicket in the 3rd over. Ben Rain with the wicket. Good responses from Rain after the previous over went for 17. He's actually bowled him. He's actually clipped the top of off stump.
It's bowled, yeah. He was at 1 bail. Bohannon gave himself room to the leg side, tried to squeeze it through the offside, and he clipped the top of off, which for every bowler wants, and just took 1 bail off. And obviously was held by the keeper. But yeah, a shame for Bohannon. And Bohannon he's learning his trade at the top of the order in T20 cricket. He's learning where his scoring shots are by the looks of it to me. Yeah, I don't know how much T20 cricket he's played at the top. He might have played a lot of second team cricket and batted at the top, but he's still learning what his intent is, where his shots are, and he's still coming to terms with that role at the top. And he's played less T20 cricket than obviously Wells and Jennings and the other boys at the top.
Is the Stephen Croft the new batter, Lancashire's captain for this game? Is there a, when you say learning the role, is there a sense of pressure because the modern day opening T20 batter just goes at it, doesn't it? Rather than one go at it and the other one play a slightly more holding role. Does that come with its own pressure a little bit?
Yeah, I think comes with some pressure, and it's hard if you've not played in that position a great deal. You want to do well, you want to take the opportunity, and you've got to find how you're going to do that in your way, and that takes a little bit of time.
Stephen Croft, the new batter, slip in place there. Rain to Croft. Rain just pushing it out into the offside. AJ Ty comes up to field, and there's no run. This is a good over from Ben Rain. Bit of pressure on him because the previous one was expensive, and so far he's not considered a run and puts up a wicket. It's a terrific start from Rain.
In the wicket might suit Ben Rain. I played with Ben Rain at Leicester. It was a wholehearted try and a great cricketer, and can give the ball a whack. But this wicket, he does bowl full of a length and try and run the ball back. I think it might suit him up front with the new ball, trying to run into the shin of the batters.
Turner at slip. He's in a bowling. Croft trying to work the ball out through the onside. Stifled appeal for LBW. Another dot ball, so he's a delivery away from a wicket maiden. I mean, maidens are a rarity in T20 cricket, let alone wicket ones.
They are a rarity. A real rarity here. I think this ball will go for 1 out to deep point, but that's just only I'm guessing there, okay? Here's my prediction.
Oh, let's see if Mystic Horton is spot on. Croft is waiting. Here comes Rain. Final delivery of the third. Ball's to Croft. Just drops it into the offside, and there is no run, and it is a wicket maiden for Ben Rain. Terrific third over for Durham. Great comeback after the second over. Went for 17. It's 23 for 1. We've had 3 overs of the game. We're live from Stanley Park in Blackpool for a second successive T20 game in the North Group of the Blast in Lancashire. Not yet mathematically certain of qualification, despite what Paul Horton is saying, just to ruin the sense of jeopardy and drama. But a win tonight would almost guarantee them quarter-final qualification.
As I previously said, Lancashire have qualified in the T20 group. Don't be worried about that. They have qualified. Mathematically, maybe they haven't, but I don't know if anyone can beat anyone else and go above them. There's not 4 teams in that lineup that are going to go above Lancashire.
18 points would mathematically guarantee them top 4. There's lots of different permutations for a top 2 finish, which of course is what they want to try and get a home quarter final. Here's Travaskis into the attack. Wells takes him on, sends the ball out through the onside towards deep mid-wicket. Coghlan picks it up in the deep, and Wells is through for 1 run. Takes him on to 20, and the score moves on to 24 for 1. It's a spin in the 4th over of the match. So we're still in the power play, so still the fielding restrictions are in place, and there is a deep mid-wicket and a long off for Travaskis, whose left arm around the wicket and bowls. Oh, there's an appeal for stumping. The ball's into the gloves of the keeper. Sharp work behind the stumps.
Yeah, brilliant work there. A little bit of bounce. It looked. Croft tried to hit the ball quite square. Missed one on. Great work by Ollie Robinson, I believe, behind the stumps.
Yep.
But yeah, really good start here by Durham. Wells has got off to a flyer, but Croft just getting himself in. And we all know what he can do and how brilliantly he played on Sunday.
Yeah, it's 20 from 10, Luke Wells. Croft going across the stump, trying to slog sweep it away into the onside. It deflects off something. It has Robinson, the keeper, flying after it, trying to get a glove on that. Bounce beyond his reach anyway. And there is no run. Just the 1 ball so far off this 4th over. Halfway through it, Travaskis balls. Croft trying to run it down towards 3rd man. Picks up backward point again. There's no run.
Looks like potentially a little bit more spin than there was the other night. That might happen. Obviously, 40 overs played on the other day. It is a club wicket. It might deteriorate a little bit.
24 for 1. 2 balls left of the 4th. Croft up onto his toes, trying to find a way into the offside, but there's a whole stack of yellow Durham shirts. One of them's Paul Coghlan, and there is no run. Difficult to weave the ball between those fielders on the offside. Final ball of the 4th over, just the 1 off it. It's Travaskis to complete it. Again, Croft looks to sweep. Appeal for LBW. Not out, says the umpire. And that completes the 4th over of the Lancashire Lightning innings. 24 for 1, Wells 20, Croft yet to score, 8 deliveries faced. Myself, Scott Reed and Paul Horton in the media marquee for this fixture. With 1 eye on those clouds, but only 1 eye. We're keeping optimistic that we'll be dry for the evening. We'll see.
2 brilliant overs in conjunction there from Durham. Obviously Ben Rain's maiden, and obviously 1 off that over from Travaskis.
Yep.
So brilliant. Obviously after Wells had got off to such a flyer and had taken down Coughlan's first over, you drag them back if they can keep going here. Durham and get out of the power play without too much damage, they'll be really happy. They can go into the squeeze, into the middle period, and obviously Lancashire are going to be put under pressure. So, but 2 big overs coming here, and Andrew Ty's coming into the attack. You know, their experienced overseas player, play a lot of T20 cricket. But Wells is flying. We need to him face a few more balls. He only faced 10 and he's already 20.
Here we go. 5th over of the innings. Wells waiting, standing tall in the crease. And that comes off the inside edge. It squirts past the stumps. Throw in towards the keeper. Wells is through for a single. 21 to him now. 25 for 1 in the 5th.
I think that might have been a French cut. Is it still used, French cut, as a terminology? Is it still allowed?
Well,
it was great. Yeah, French cut, so. Just 45, not sure where it went. But this might be an over for Croft. Obviously, he wants to get in and going, but Ty, a bit more extra bounce. It might suit Croft's play. Square point, pulling the ball like he did the other day so successfully.
Waiting for his first run. Maybe this will be it for Croft. He launches the ball behind square on the leg side, out towards the score box. And gets bounced over the Portaloos. It's gone for 6. It's gone for, in fact, I think it may have gone out the ground. Croft off the mark with a shot that takes the ball out of Stanley Park. And Lancashire Lightning move on to 31 for 1.
Just like I was saying, Andrew Ty's more slightly back of a length and a bit of extra bounce, and Croft knows that, and he's hit the ball out of the ground, but that's what he wants. Okay, he doesn't want what Ben Rain was offering. Ben Rain was offering and bringing Croft forward, looking, making him to hit down the ground. The 6s and 4s that were scored the other day were scored behind square, and were scored with the ball being hit for 6. Yeah, Croft did that a lot, and also Dane Villas did it as well. So, you know, if Ty is going to be successful, he needs to pitch up, be brave, and pitch up a bit further. Maybe Wells, he can go into more back of a length, but for Croft, if he keeps ball on that length, he will pull him and cut him to smithereens.
Well, he's bashed the ball to smithereens somewhere in the car park. New ball in the hand of AJ Ty, who's in a bowling to Croft. Oh, again, that comes off an inside edge. He's got 4 for it, down towards the boundary away to our left-hand side. Well fielded by James Price, Lancashire's media executive. 4 more runs, successive boundaries.
It's such a bit of length from Ty, bringing him forward. Croft into the field that he's got placed, but also, is that again a French cut?
It's definitely an inside edge, isn't it?
Yes. And yeah, unfortunate for the bowler, but fortune favours the brave. But it's a better length from Ty on this surface.
And Croft goes for a big heave, almost spins himself off the ground. He's down on 1 knee. He's on to 10 not out with those 2 boundaries. Lancashire Lightning are 35 for 1. We're in the 5th over, and some aggression being shown by Stephen Croft, who comes down the pitch and has a look at it with Luke Wells.
Yeah, he's still targeting the leg side and use that extra bounce, Croft. Yeah, that was a bit fuller, which he is looking to pull the ball into the leg side with only 1 man back, deep backward square. He's got a lot of options. Just as mid-on goes deeper, I still think mid-on is a wasted fielder. I think obviously the deep backward square behind and deep mid-wicket would be a much safer option for Durham.
It's Ty to Croft. That's swatted away through the onside. Catch it in the crowd if you can, or duck for cover. Maybe the more sensible option. 6 more for Croft. Whipped away, a flat one through square leg. And it's a 3rd successive boundary, causing chaos in the crowd as the ball hurtled into the direction of a couple of spectators.
Another incredible strike by Croft, and huge power that he's showing, and a great cricket shot by him. But again, sadly, Ty's bowling where Croft wants the ball. You know, Croft wants the ball that back of a length so he can pull it. You know, he's got 1 man to beat. You know, either hit it over him there, or he'll go over short 45 like he did on the first and hit it for 6. So he doesn't want to be trying to look to hit down the ground and drive down the ground. So mid-on is wasted here, and they should have 2 deep, a beat backward square leg and deep mid wickets. Ty needs to be brave and bowl a bit fuller to Croft, because Croft was one to pull the ball into the leg side.
He's 16 from 12 now, Stephen Croft. 41 for 1. Final ball of the 5th. Ty to Croft. That's cut and into the offside. Picked up just a backward point, and there is no run. So that completes the over with 2 6s off it and the boundary 4 plus the single. So a good over for Lancashire Lightning as they try and edge their run rate up a notch with 1 over left of the power play. It's been a real mixture so far, hasn't it? The first kind of section of the match. We've seen some good bowling, we've seen some big hitting. It's been a bit of all sorts in these first 5 overs.
Yeah, really strange set of overs. Obviously 5 overs gone. As you say, the score is we are again behind, not seeing the scoreboard. So the score is 41 for 1 after 5, but that includes an over, a 1 and a maiden.
Yep.
That's an amazing scorecard.
Travascus over the wicket, and that's chipped up towards mid-on and gone. And it's Scott Borthwick that takes the catch, and Travascus strikes for the first ball of the 6th over, and it's Luke Wells, the man out for 21. A sense of relief for Durham after a couple of overs of big hitting, but Wells departs. Lancashire lose their second, 41 for 2. This is the final over of the power play.
Unfortunate for Wells, he tried to continue to go down the ground. A little bit of spin, he's a bit unlucky, but he hadn't seen a great deal of strike recently. It was, he'd seen the first 10 balls in the first couple of overs, so maybe lost a bit of his rhythm. Tried to take Travascus down the ground again, like he had success, and unfortunately held out a wide on, as you said, and that brings Rob Jones to the crease. This is a great opportunity for Rob Jones to get a go in this Lancashire middle order, obviously with some players unavailable. Liam's Livingston, obviously Dane Villas not in the side, so an opportunity to get a game and to get some runs on the board and play an innings.
Yep.
And hopefully, I always talked about the other night, we didn't see a great deal of it, it wasn't needed, but there is the Tim David factor in the lineup, so if he gets going again at some stage, which you wouldn't think he'd do, he might get going today, but it's a good opportunity for Rob Jones to play and show his undoubted ability.
Couldn't agree anymore. And great to see him in the team. He had a blinding knock at Edgbaston in the Championship just the other week to help Luke Wells. And Lancashire win that 4-day match. There's a really good, impressive knock from Jones. Would have loved being out there in the middle when Lancashire won the match. He has a chance now in the blast. Slip in place. Goes off the back foot. And plays the ball away into the offside as Travascus sends down his second ball of the 6th over. 41 for 2. Croft, the non-strikers, end unbeaten on 16. They're going to keep the slip in place with the new batter on strike. Because on the reverse, big appeal for LBW, and Jones has gone. He's gone for naught, went to reverse sweep it. And Travascus asked the question. The umpire said, yeah, that's how. That's going on to hit in the umpire's view. And Jones, unfortunately today, can't contribute with the bat. And Lancashire lose their 3rd, and their power play just starting to look a little bit messy now at 41 for 3.
Fortunately, we get to look at the Lancs TV replay. And I think that's pretty adjacent. They've obviously ball pitched and straightened, and Rob Jones missed his reverse sweep, an option he wanted to took, and I'm sure he took. So you're right, it is taking a strange shape. Obviously, the statistics on if you lose 3 wickets in the power play, the chances of winning the game come down. I think that's changing a little bit in the modern cricket.
Okay.
But Lancashire probably don't want Tim David to be in the crease this early. It's a little bit early for Tim David to be striding out. But obviously, if he gets going from here, then we're in for fireworks. But Durham will be trying to remove him and obviously put pressure on it. And at 4 down, Lancashire will be opened up a little bit. Obviously, Luke Wood can play, but they do have a slightly different-looking batting lower middle order than they normally do today. Well, obviously, the last missing out here: Gleeson, Hartley, Bailey, Lamb, Luke Wood. So Luke Wood will be in next, I would have thought. At 4 down, so maybe slightly earlier than Luke Wood is normally coming to the crease for Lancashire, depending on the lineup today.
Yeah, well, yeah, Lamb potentially next. Maybe.
Lamb maybe might come in next year, depending on the situation. But this is, Durham have got Tim David where they want him.
Yep.
A chance to knock him over. However, if he gets in from here, it will be a big score.
41 for 3. Here's Travascus. Good comeback this for Durham. Ball played away into the offside. Little upishly stopped inside the 30-metre circler by Paul Coughlin, and there is no run. This is Liam Travascus, 2 wickets in the over, yet to concede a run. We've already had a wicket maiden, could we have a double wicket maiden? Off the back foot, carved away into the offside. Another good stop, but they do actually get through for 1, not picked up as cleanly as I thought on first viewing. And they've got through for a quick single. Tim David off the mark with that. 42 for 3. Final ball of the power play. A quirky power play coming up.
It's a power play that's had everything. It's had some really power hitting. It's had a maiden. It's had wickets. It's a real strange power play, but it is constituted 6 overs have covered everything.
Final ball of it. Travascus to Croft. Just leans into it, works the ball across his pads in towards the onside. And it's picked up by Travaskis off his own bowling. So that is the 6-over power play done. 43 for 3, Croft 17 and Tim David on 1. He's out early, Tim David. He's out in the power play, which, as Paul suggested, is not perhaps exactly gone to script for Lancashire Lightning. But conversely, if he bats quite a decent number of these remaining overs, could be quite good fun to watch.
Yeah, it'd be really interesting to see how they play it out here. Tim David might continue to play his natural way, and Croft might settle a little bit in, knowing that if Tim David gets going, then obviously it'll fly. But if Tim David takes huge risks, then obviously Croft will have to bat a longer period of time. You know, they both go now, and Lancashire end up 5 down for 60. Then it exposes them a little bit, I think, too early. So it is hard to find that balance, and it is ultimately, T20 cricket. It's 4s and 6s don't get out. Which is always straightforward, really, which has always been the way. So, but these are two experienced T20 cricketers. There might be a lull here as they rebuild a little bit, but they will certainly play with intent.
Spin from both ends. Here's a leg spin of Borthwick into the attack. Floats the first one up, and it's flicked away through the onside by Croft for 1 run. He moves on to 18. Score ticks along to 44 for 3. We're in the 7th over. Scott Borthwick chewing gum, spinning the ball from one hand to the other. He's got Tim David on strike for the first time. Durham's spinner facing the enormous frame of Tim David. He tries to force it and does, through extra cover for 4. Stand and watch that disappear towards the boundary, Tim David.
Yeah, it's a great shot, slightly over pitched, and a wonderful cover drive at pace, but I don't think Ashton Turner, he's a bit close. There is no short catching. That is like Sillyman off to Tim David. He power blocked one before, so he's got no chance there.
Borthwick to David. Squirts away down towards short third man, but for no run. I sense it might not be too far away from a bit of rain around.
Well, Stephen Cross would be the man to ask, knowing where the rain would come by. I'm playing a lot of cricket here, but let's hope it doesn't rain.
Borthwick to David, forward again in defence, and there's no run. 48 for 3. 2 balls left of the 7th over. The 1 boundary in the over so far, hammered away through the offside. He's going again, David, out towards deep backward point, but just for a single. Nathan Souter picks it up. Score moves on to 49 for 3. 1 ball left of the 7th. What do you describe that defensive shot from Tim David as a power block?
Yeah, power block.
Liking that.
You can use that, Scott.
Thank you, Paul.
Yeah,
I will do.
Add it to the repertoire.
It's off the back foot by Croft. Hit through the offside for a single. Takes Croft on to 19. 50 for 3. 7 overs gone. Croft 19, David on 6. Let's see if we see any more power blocking from Tim David.
Yeah, his second ball, I think it was, he sort of just, as I say, blocked it or bunted it, and it went through. It was only for Coughlin a backward point that doing a diving stop. It would have got through the field and potentially gone through the 4. For 4 on this outfield. But that cover drive that he played, that beats Turner before Turner blinks. He's got no chance of stopping that. If he gets in the way of that, he's going to hurt some fingers. So you don't need to be as close. Tim David isn't going to drop it and run.
Yeah.
You can give yourself a little bit of room. It's going to stay hit if he hits it. And he's also not looking for ones. He's looking to hit boundaries. So you give yourself a bit of room. But I'm surprised that Durham are where they are on the table. A couple of leg spinners in the lineup. Travaskis, left arm spinner,
who is in and continuing, and this is cut away by Croft out toward deep backward point. Chase on for the fielder, but it's just a little collection of kids that are there to scoop it up. 4 for Croft off the back foot, sliced away through the offside. Nice start to the over for Lancashire Lightning.
Great shot by Croft, and I think Durham have potentially got the field wrong here. The mid-wicket, short mid-wicket is not needed here. If Croft is looking to hit the ball into mid-wicket, yes, he might run it 2, potentially. But if that beats Ben Rain at backward point, that's 4. And Croft will be happy that there's only 1 more bloke at backward point.
Travaskis, left arm around the wicket, little shuffle forward from Croft, and then just drops the ball into the offside. Davies says yes to the single there. Picked up by Eckersley. Croft is through for 1. So 24 to Stephen Croft from 18 deliveries. Of course, it took him 9 balls to get his first run, so he's caught up.
And the field has changed now. There's no short mid-wicket to Tim David. There is 2 backward points. That is a better field to Croft, because if he's looking to hit ones, then you're winning with Stephen Croft.
Travaskis to David. That's hit along the ground. 1 on should come up. It does. And David moves on to 7. The score moves on to 56 for 3. We're halfway through the 8th over. Stephen Croft, captain of Lancashire Lightning today. In the absence of Dane Villas, home town boy, of course, Croft. Shuffles back into the crease. Flicks it away through the onside. And Souter comes up to field, and Croft to 25 now, 57 for 3.
So that's the point exactly. There's 2 backward points there. So Croft is then looking to hit into mid-wicket for 1 or 2, not looking to hit you for 4. So it's a better field for Durham to bowl with, I think, at this stage.
Travaskis to Tim David. He goes back and he goes big, and he's aiming towards the roof of the pavilion, and he hits it. It's a monster blow for Tim David, and the ball crashes onto the roof of the pavilion away to our right-hand side. It's a big hit from David, put everything through it, swung the whole lot, and the ball landed somewhere on that roof. It may have dislodged a tile.
The ball is actually taking a little bit of a battering. It landed on the concrete twice, I think. One went out of the ground. I saw the umpires actually using the scissors on it before. Maybe a scuff already on the ball. That dislodged a tile, top right of the pavilion. And as I say, it's exciting times. Tim David is at the crease, so he's going to play his way.
63 for 3. Travaskis to David. It's a wider ball, which in the end he kind of bottom edges past the keeper. They'll shuffle through for 1. And David moves on to 14. And Lancashire Lightning move on to 64 for 3. We've had 8 overs. And Lancashire Lightning have lost 3 wickets, but they've got Tim David on 14 and Croft playing again a good innings here. 25 from 19 deliveries faced. There is a sense that maybe there's a bit of rain around. Where's Stephen Croft pointing? Who's coming in that direction? Hit it over there.
I think he was talking about the rain, Stephen Croft. I do hope it's a precaution. The camera in front of us that pans to us and shows how orange my T-shirt is,
yes,
is getting covered up here. Yes. So obviously that is a precaution. I do hope that is a precaution, but it is ominous signs if they are coming up. Crofty was showing where he thinks the rain will come from. And look, it might miss us. It might be sliding. There's no lights here, so bad light may come to play. There is no lights.
AJ Ty to Tim David. It's worked out just in front of square on the leg side. Tim David moves on to 15. The score moves on to 65 for 3. We're in the 9th over.
Interesting field, and Ty used to David there. He's got both mid-on and mid-off up. An extra cap and a backward point. And everyone out on leg side, deep fine leg, deep backward square leg, deep mid wicket. Really interesting field. It looks like he's just trying to bowl, under his feet Yorkers.
Yeah, here comes Ty bowling to Croft, and that's just dropped out into the offside for no wrong. Croft on 25 and Tim David on 15. We're in the 9th over of the Lancashire Lightning innings. Durham put Lancashire into bat, maybe with the possibility that we might get some rain. So that might well come into it in terms of a score being adjusted later on. We'll see. Lancashire have lost 3 wickets inside the power play, but they've got Croft 25 not out. Here's Ty. Bowls to Croft. That's chopped out into the offside. Eckersley comes up to field. And Croft moves on to 26, and the score moves on to 66 for 3. But the wickets to fall: Luke Wells for 21 from 12 deliveries, Josh Bohannon for 4, and Rob Jones for 0. LBW Travaskis bowled by Rain, and bowled Travaskis caught Borthwick. So 2 for Travaskis, and we've got AJ Ty for Durham in and bowling. And that's worked off the pads out towards square leg. He's through for a single. David moves on to 16. We've seen 1 big hit from the big hitting Tim David so far. Hit the roof of the pavilion, actually. He's on 16 and Croft on 26. It's an intriguing start to the Lancashire innings, Paul.
It certainly is, and obviously there was a change of field there for David. A third man came up, mid-on, mid-off, went back. But quite clever batting from David. He doesn't need to look to target Tim David. There's enough spin that's going to come. Travaskis, Borthwick, Salter. There's enough spin for him to take down.
Tight balls. Oh, Croft up onto his toes, uppercutting out towards the boundary, I think for 4. It's a terrific shot from Croft out towards deep backward point. Sat up beautifully for him, and he absolutely climbed into it. Lovely looking shot for 4 by Croft.
Again, it's a wonderful cricket shot by Stephen Croft. It's beautiful over backward point, but it is poor bowling for Andrew Tye, a man of his experience. Yeah, Croft wants to cut and pull. He's got his, yes, he's got his fine leg up, but it's still poor bowling.
30 from 22 now. This time just tries to work the ball down, back with a square on the offside. Eckersley comes up to field, and there is no runs. That completes the 9th over. 71 for 3. With the roof of the pavilion so far, the structure that's taken most of the damage off that big hit from Tim David. And
still scoring quite freely, Lancashire. Obviously, these guys are building their partnership. This will be a really interesting period of play. Obviously, Souter's coming on to bowl his leg spin. With 2 guys who are good players at spin, Stephen Croft, but obviously Tim David with he will look to target the spin, I think, and take it down. This will be a tough ask of Souter coming on at Tim David, and really interested to see how David plays. I think he will look to try and take the spin down.
Okay, well, we'll see whether that turns out to be the case. Here he comes in and bowls, and David swings at that, and he's caught. And Souter has the breakthrough, and it's Tim David, the man out, going for a big hit, and it squirts away down towards backward point. And that's a huge blow for Durham to have picked up Tim David, and perhaps with rain not too far away at backward point, and David departs, and Lancashire lose their 4th wicket.
You're right, that is a huge wicket for Durham. Tim David, as I said, I think he would target the spin, and he was looking to take Souter, didn't have a look, tried to take him down first ball, and obviously slight bit of spin, and it skewed off the outside edge, and it did hang for a little bit to backward point. The ball spinning, Ben Raine needs to take a solid catch, a very easy catch, but he want to take it because of the value of the wicket. And obviously there is potentially rain coming.
Yep.
Very hard as a batting side to understand when that's going to come, what that innings looks like for you, how you're going to play it. You're going to get 14, you're going to get 16. Do you go hard early? How does that look for you as a batting side, which is really hard. Ultimately, that is the challenge for, that is the beauty of batting second. You do get to understand and know what you're scoring, and also sometimes you find that 10 overs or so, you've got 10 wickets in the shed. So you don't lose wickets on Duckworth, Lewis. You just lose a turn. So, but also, you do get some extra runs, so we'll be interested. Let's hope we just don't get rain, because it can spoil the game.
Souter, great breakthrough for him. First ball of the over, finding the wicket of Tim David. Worked away off the pads. The debutant, young George Bell, gets his first runs for Lancashire Lightning. They've had a few butterflies in the belly, I'm sure, when he came out to bat, but he's up and running. It'll clip off the pads for 2. 73 for 4, but congratulations to George Bell. This is T20 debut for Lancashire Lightning. Souter bowls to him, just pushes out into the offside for no run. I'm just looking at the rain radar on my phone, and there is quite a bit coming, isn't there? It looks quite dark, the rain band that's imminent.
Maybe a heavy shower coming, or a storm.
Yeah. Souter to Bell, goes back and looks to try and cut it. Picked up at backward point, there's no run. And with that in mind, I mean, how difficult is it? You did allude to it then, the 2 batters out there to try to judge what you need to do, because Lancashire are now 4 wickets down, potentially with a rain shower coming. Here's Bell trying to work it back down the pitch and fielded by Souter, no run.
You need to, and look, unless you can predict when the rain's going to land, and sometimes the experts who are paid weathermen get it wrong. So,
fair point.
I'm not sure Stephen Croft has got that in his armoury. He's got a lot in his armoury, but maybe not when the weather's coming. So you need to play it as best you can and as normal as you can. If it starts to rain, then maybe, yes.
Okay, right. Souter to Bell. He's off the back foot. And the ball turns out into the onside for no run. Terrific first over from Nathan Souter. The wicket off the first delivery, then just the 2. And we've had 10 overs, so we're at the halfway stage of the Lancashire Lightning innings. 73 for 4 after 10. And, well, intriguing first half of the lightning innings, this. Plenty of experience there with one player, with Stephen Croft, over 200 T20 games. Of course, at the other end in George Bell, young man making his debut.
Yeah, huge amount of experience and a great experience for him to be out there and get the opportunity. But as I said, I think you play like it's a 20-over game.
Croft looks to cut, and does. Finds the man at deep point, Souter. Croft gets a single, 31 to him, 74 for 4.
And if that changes, then that's just that's unlucky, that's unfortunate, and that can happen sometimes. You know, you don't get the run of the grid. What Durham are doing well here to Bell, obviously they understand the Bell's on debut. They're bringing mid on, mid off up, covers in, backward point, 45. They've got a few men in the circle. They are putting pressure on the young man.
Bell goes off the back foot, tries to force the ball away into the offside. He might get his first boundary. It's out towards the rope. No, it's picked up by Salter, who does ever so well on the ground to cover up. Bell does come back for 2. Moves on to 4. 76 for 4.
With 6 men in the ring, they are trying to squeeze him and put pressure, obviously, to starve Stephen Croft at the strike, but also to put a bit of pressure on.
Looks a sweep this time. Just out in front of square on the leg side. Gets a single. Moves on to 5. 77 for 4. He'd have had a few butterflies, wouldn't he? Obviously, but will he have settled down a little bit now? Now he's up and running, got his first runs as Croft waits for this next delivery. Play back to him from Borthwick, and there's no run.
He'll have a lot of butterflies,
yeah,
but that's not necessarily a bad thing.
Okay.
Yeah, Stephen Croft will still have butterflies about playing and performing. It's just the way it is. But he started well, he settled well, he looks busy and positive, and that's all he can do.
This is Croft cutting Borthwick again down towards short third, and he absolutely hurtles his way through for a single. Croft moves on to 32, 78 for 4, with 1 ball left of the 11th over. Been sent down by Borthwick. Bell on 5. Eases the ball away into the offside. But for no run, Graham Clark fielding for Durham. And that's 11 overs gone. Stephen Croft 32, George Bell on 5, 78 for 4. Live from Stanley Park in Blackpool. Greetings from our media marquee, myself and former Lancashire captain, county championship winner, Paul Horton, who has removed his sunglasses. I'm keeping mine on just to shade my eyes from your vivid shirt. It's a lovely colour of peach, salmon, orange.
Like I described on Sunday, colours are not my thing.
Colour blind. Souter in. That's worked out through the onside. And Croft is through for a single.
Yeah, let's just stick with orange. Look,
Orange,
it's bright, it's summery. I didn't go full beach attire. I have got shoes on. I could have wear flip-flops. A bit like doing a team's call from home, isn't it? Yeah, business up top and relaxing at the bottom. So you've seen all them pictures.
79 for 4. Bell's back on strike. Here's Souter in bowling. Play and a miss taken by the keeper, Robinson, who's kept beautifully so far for Durham tonight. And there is no run. Bell on 5. Souter is over the wicket to Bell. Plays a nice back foot drive, punched away through the offside. And he's through for a single. Bell moves to 6. Score moves on to 80 for 4. Halfway through the 12th.
He's playing really well there, Bell. He's doing really well. Great start, not easy.
Croft with plenty of wrist, trying to cut the ball out through the offside. Another dot ball though. Just the 2 off the over so far, with 2 balls left of it. Croft settles back into his crease. Keeper crouches down behind the stumps. It'll flick out through the onside again by Stephen Croft. And he's jogging through for 1. Takes him on to 34. 81 for 4, with 1 ball remaining of the 12th.
I have another question for you coming, so you may not know the answer, but I'll save it for the middle of the after this over is completed.
Well, I can probably almost guarantee you I don't know the answer to whatever you're going to throw in my direction. Souter bowls, and Bell gets one that sits up nicely for him and cuts out through the offside for 1. And he moves on to 7, and that completes the 12th over. So 82 for 4, Bell on 7 from 11, and Stephen Croft on 34. There's a real clash there of experience but both players will be bursting with pride. Croft at his hometown club, and of course Bell making his debut.
The question is coming, but it's not yet. I actually thought really interesting captaincy there from Turner. Last ball, the over, Bell on strike. He did continue to bring the field up. Yeah, normally he could set the field back and give him the one, get him back on strike again, but he kept the field up to be aggressive to try and take another wicket, and that's really brave, positive captaincy.
Borthwick bowls. A little slog sweep away to the onside. Found, bounce safe. Bell gets a single. He moves on to 8. Score moves on to 83 for 4.
It's a really positive, aggressive captaincy there from Turner. Still trying to take wickets, and that's what you need to do to shut the scoreboard down in T20 cricket.
Borthwick in, bowls. Croft goes right across the stumps. The ball bounces down towards short, fine leg. I'm not quite sure how he got the ball down there. Did he kind of hit it down into the ground, bottom edge it? He's got a single for it.
Really weird. He's obviously going across. He is targeting the slog sweep. He is targeting this over. I don't know what happened. It looked like he maybe hit it into his toe and it ballooned to 45.
Borthwick for Durham. Bowls. And Bell, having stepped to the leg side, looks to try and carve the ball away, but into the gloves of Ollie Robinson, and there's no run. Again,
still 6 fielders in the ring here. Mid-on, mid-off, cover. 2 backward points, 45. Positive captaincy.
Borthwick bowls, and Bell down on one knee. Goes high towards the onside. That's a glorious shot out towards that deep mid-wicket boundary. He's got himself 4, and it's a lovely shot by young George Bell. Beautifully executed, high towards that leg side boundary for 4.
Really good shot. The mid-on is up. So brave of the young man to take him on, and he did, and executed really well. Great shot, and he's looked more than accomplished. He doesn't look overawed. He looks a really good, positive young cricketer for Lancashire.
He signed his first rookie contract with the Red Rose in the course of the winter. He's only 19. Getting a single this time. Just worked out towards backward square leg for 1. Takes him to 13. 89 for 4. Has played for England under 19s in the ODI series against the West Indies, and it also toured Sri Lanka as well, so he's had a bit of experience at England age level. Croft cuts to Souter on the point boundary through to a single. He moves on to 36. That completes the 13th over, and Lancashire Lightning a 90 for 4. Croft on 36 and Bell on 13.
The question I had for you, you went on the answer is Nathan Souter. Is he on loan?
Yes.
There you go. I don't need to go any further. So he's on. It's strange. I always thought that Nathan Souter has done well for Middlesex and offered him a really good option with the ball in T20 crickets. But he's on loan for the T20, is he?
He is. His debut was against Lancashire in the reverse fixture a few weeks ago at Chester Street. He bowled beautifully as well on his debut. Into to Croft. Played down the ground for a single. You do tend to see that a little bit more now, don't you? That play, certainly at this stage of the season, if you're not getting in the team for your club, you little loan move somewhere. No?
I still think it's underused in cricket. I think it's used a bit more in football, and used potentially a little bit better in football. And I still think there's a bit of taboo with it in cricket, and I think it's underused.
Why would there be a taboo with it? As Souter bowls and Bell hammers the ball away through the offside for a single. 92 for 4.
Maybe taboo's the wrong word. I do think sometimes that clubs are really hesitant to let people actually go and express themselves for other clubs, because if they go and do well, it shows that why they're not playing for your club, and have you made a mistake. So if you hold them and they don't let them go, then you can't be proved wrong.
Souter to Croft. That's cut through the offside. It's behind square. It bounces over the rope. It's caught in the crowd. Well done, sir. Give it a nice gentle pace to you, but you still got both hands on it. 4 to Croft. Welcome boundary for Lancashire. Good catch in the crowd. He's happy with his work. 96 for 4. Croft on to 41.
Maybe that's a cynical view.
Okay.
But I do think, at times they don't let people go and express themselves and show what they can do on the big stage for other clubs. And obviously, other clubs are competing in the same league, aren't they?
Souter to Croft. Played out in front of square on the leg side for a single. 42 now to Croft. 97 for 4 Lancashire Lightning. I suspect you could make a case for not doing it to a team that's in your group, to another North team, for example. But obviously Middlesex in the South group doesn't seem to be.
And maybe that's why it's happened.
Okay.
Maybe that's why it's happened.
He's in a bowling to Bell. Bell's cut his fielder just backward of point, and there's no run. He's with Durham for the rest of the Blast campaign, so he's got a few more games to play.
And that's great, and that's great for him. I don't think it's a positive for everybody all round. You just got to be brave enough to understand that, you know, you're trying to look after a guy's career as well as, you know, win games cricket for your own club. So, yeah, this might work in Middlesex's favour eventually.
It's out to bowls, and Bell goes right back into the crease off the back foot, hammers it down the ground. Coughlin is there to field. He want to come back for a second. Croft puts the dive in, throwing towards the bowler's end. They have run two. Young man making his senior partner put in the legwork there. Oh, it says, oh, sorry, Crofty. 16 to Bell. And Croft on 42 saying, blimey, mate, give me a chance. 99 for 4 after 14.
Great little partnership this for Lancashire coming together. Obviously, everyone thought, obviously, Tim David, you know, leaving the crease, departing, obviously, was, you know, a big blow for Lancashire, but there has been a little bit of partnership here. 28, this partnership is now, you know, approaching, you know, the Crop partnership was 30, approaching, you know, the best partnership. It's great, getting in a position for Lancashire to launch at the end here.
Which is Crofty down on 1 knee, looking to launch the ball away through the onside. He gets 4 out to deep backward square leg on that kind of slog sweep, as Travaskis sends down the first delivery of his latest spell. And 4 to Croft to start the over is a nice positive way to get the 15th going. Croft is edging towards another 50 at his hometown club. He's 46 not out from 35 deliveries. That brings up 3 figures for Lancashire Lightning too. 103 for 4. And Croft this time drives away into the offside for a single. 47 to Croft. 104 for 4.
Playing another great innings here, Croft, holding Lancashire together through this middle period. In up the top, they lost a couple of wickets, but yeah, playing beautifully and holding together and getting the chance Lancashire get a really good competitive score. Hopefully the rain stays off. It might be one of the things we talk about all day and it never comes.
Partnership's worth 33, I hope so. This is feathered away through the onside, along the ground by Bell, out towards that leg side. And again, he comes back for 2, so he's up to 18 from 19, doing a terrific job on his Lancashire Lightning debut. Standing with the bat on his shoulder, looking to the leg side. Croft at the non-striker's end. Travaskis in. Oh, he's flat battered it down the ground as Bell. Travaskis leaping away to his right. He may have actually got something on it. He gets a pat on the head from Stephen Croft as he lands at the toes of the Lancashire batter. Was that a chance?
I don't think he got to him. Croft stood his ground and he hit Croft. He knew exactly what he was doing, Croft, but he'll pretend he won't. But he stood his ground. The ball went at Croft. He's a big man to get through. Don't think Travaskis has got that in him, man to get round. So, well done by Croft there.
106 for 4. Reverse sweeps it. It's a great shot by Bell. Another boundary. What a blinding little way to start your Lancashire career here for George Bell. 22 not out. Confidence here from the young man.
Lovely reverse sweep. He reverse sweeped up as well, so he knew there was 240. There's obviously a backward point and a 2 backward points, so the sweep has to go up a little bit. He's going to clear them 2 guys, and it did. A lovely little play. And as most keepers are, he looks like he's a good sweeper of the ball. Small man, he's probably used to cutting and pulling. Now that Durham a different field change, deep points gone back, mid-off has come up.
Travaskis to Bell, steps the leg side, hits it back over the bowler's head. One bounce up towards the long-on boundary. And he's through for a single. He had a lovely little smile on his face there, did George Bell, during the course of that over. So there's 15 gone. 111 for 4 after 15. Bell 23. Croft on 47. Those clouds beyond the trees. They're still pretty set in, aren't they? But let's hope we do dance our way between the showers, or at least the rain that's in and around the area. And this is an enjoyable partnership for Lancashire Lightning. It's worth 40 runs between these two off 35 deliveries.
Yeah, brilliant little partnership. What looks ominous with the clouds, obviously they're not as dark as now, but they look that setting grey. It does look like it is raining in the distance. Let's hope that distance is too far away for us, and it doesn't impact us in the next hour and a half or so. But it does look like it is raining potentially in the distance. But a great little partnership, and great to see Bell get in. And he's played a nice little gem of innings, 23 off 22. And it'll be a learning curve for Durham. I don't know, they wouldn't massively seen a massive amount of Bell. They've probably done their research, but now they're looking at mid-off is up. They've got a really fine deep backward point and a deep cover as well, trying to cut out his reverse sweep.
There's Borthwick, another step to leg side, down on one knee, goes high up towards the media marquee, over the rope, in it goes to Woods, hits the table where Paul Edwards is writing something poetic. It's 6 for Bell. He moves on to 29. His first 6 for Lancashire Lightning. What a big hit. I love that. Down on one knee, back over the bowler's head, and here it comes, heading in towards the media marquee.
A great shot by Bell, with obviously with the mid-off up. He's gone over the top and hit a 6 over mid-off, and mid-off has stayed up. He did go back, but he's going to go back up again. Let's see if Bell can repeat this.
Borthwick balls, and Bell in the end just see the ball disappear down towards short third man, slicing the ball away. Takes him to 30 from 24. 118 for 4. We're in the 16th over, and the partnership is worth 47 now. Between Stephen Croft and George Bell. Here's Borthwick to Croft. Big appeal for LBW. Umpire says not out straight away as Croft looks to try and sweep it. Dot ball, 7 off the over. 3 balls left of it. It's Borthwick that bowls. Croft goes back, cuts away through the offside. Takes him to 48. I can see lots of people disappearing to to cover on the far side of the ground, or at least they look like they are. So maybe rain has arrived.
I think the rain potentially has arrived. It has got cold. It does look like the rain is unfortunately has arrived on one side of the ground. The groundsmen are
lurking. Bell cuts through the offside and gets through for 1, moves on to 31. And the score moves on to 120 for 4. We've got 1 ball left of the 16th over. Croft unbeaten on 48. There's the ground staff getting themselves ready to push out the green covers. Croft off the back foot, cuts again through the offside. He might want 2 for a half century. Will come back, he'll get 50. He gets himself a half century, Stephen Croft. It's another enjoyable afternoon for the Blackpool man. Second successive 50 on his home ground. 50 from 39. He's the captain of Lancashire Lightning today, and the local boy again doing a wonderful job here for his team. 122 for 4 after 16.
Yeah, another wonderful inning from Croft, leading the way. Obviously captain today, as you say, leading the side, and obviously leading the way with the bat again. In a rich vein of form after playing the other night. So played beautifully, and he's almost done it effortlessly. It's easy for me to say. 39 ball 50. Wickets falling around him. He has batted beautifully. He's been really helped by Bell. 31 from 25. Great little energy into this period, and gave Croft time to sort of settle and build himself and go again. So really good innings from Stephen Croft again, showing his class. But isn't it nice to see the two ends of the spectrum here? A guy who played over 200 games for the club, and obviously that guy on his journey who's 19, and wants to go on and play big and play for Lancashire for a long time. So wonderful blend, both produced by Lancashire. So it's a really nice time at the crease here for Lancashire.
And it's a 50 partnership as well between these two. They celebrate Croft's half century. They both put on 51 from 41 deliveries. Bell goes for a swing. The ball disappears down towards the boundary behind him. He's got nothing on it. He's been given us 4 byes, and Lancashire will take them, even though Bell will not get them. 126 for 4.
Strange, he's got for a big shot. He is trying to go down the ground again, mid-off up. Missed everything, keeper missed everything in 4, and obviously the bowler disappointed, but obviously 4 byes, he'd be quite happy. Then go and he scored. Toby, all right, Salter.
126 for 4 in the 17th. Salter balls to Bell, who works the ball out through the onside, and it's a terrific catch. Wonderful take at deep mid-wicket. Bell's excellent innings comes to an end, going for a hit out towards that leg side boundary. Salter strikes, good catch in the deep. Well battered George Bell on debut, out for 31. Lancashire Lightning lose their 5th wicket, 126 for 5.
Firstly, it's a wonderful catch. Paul Coughlin is a great mover in the field, a wonderful athlete, and he's quick across the turf. He'd look at it one stage, he wasn't sure whether he was going to carry to him or he was going to take it on the bounce, but in the end he decided to get at it, diving forward, took a wonderful catch, good safe hands. A great little innings from Bell, a great start to his Lancashire career, Lancashire T20 career. Wonderful little innings. he'll get a lot from that experience, a lot from batting with Stephen Croft for that length of time, and great to get the exposure. So obviously there is a lot of positives from Dane Villas's, I don't know, accumulation of discrepancies.
Very politely put. You speak from experience, Paul.
Yeah, I did one and got hammered for it. So, but that's another story.
Indeed. 126 for 5 in the 17th. Well, he's presented an opportunity, hasn't it?
It is, yeah, and it's been great to see, and he's good. Good to see him get out there and show his class, and obviously another cricketer that Lancashire produced, so the conveyor belt is, continues to work, and hopefully long may that continue.
Lamb's the new batter, and he's off the mark straight away. He's leaning into it and nudging the ball out towards the leg side for a single. 127 for 5 in the 17th brings Croft on strike. 50 from 39 deliveries for Blackpool's Stephen Croft. Then Souter, wide ball, and that's cut out towards deep point for a single, and Croft moves on to 51. 128 for 5. At the minute we've managed to avoid any rain, but there's rain in the area certainly. There's Lamb on that front foot. That's worked out into the onside. Souter picks it up off his own bowling, and there's no run. There's one ball left of the 17th. Souter bowls to Lamb. Drives nicely away into the offside. Good stop and extra cover. Pick up and throw towards the bowler's end. And a dot ball to end the 17th over. That must be Souter's last. And it is. So he's bowled 4 overs, 2 for 17 for Nathan Souter.
Brilliant bowling from Souter. 2 for 17, picked up the huge wicket of Tim David, and shows what a great little loan signing he's been in this period. Obviously, Borthwick has bowled 4 overs 31. Ty's coming back, 2 overs for 12s, 2 overs 24. Ben Rain, still got 2 overs left to bowl. But I think the seam coming back now is all right. Ty's got a lot of experience. Yeah, Stephen Croft is still at the crease. It's time to go for Lancashire. Three overs remaining. They need a total of 150, 160. They would be hoping if they can get to near 160, that's 8s. Yeah, it's still shorter of what they wanted to do, I would have thought. But given the way the wicket is, a bit of atmospheric conditions with the weather, then maybe there's a little bit in the surface, and it won't be as free scoring as it was on Sunday.
It's tight to return, and Croft on 51 weight. He's in and bowling a ball that's squirted out through the offside along the ground for a single. Croft moves on to 52. It's 129 for 5 as we start the 18th over of the Lancashire Lightning innings.
And at the Pleasant stage, the rain is holding off, so hopefully we get a few. I did hear the groundsman, or one of the Lancashire groundsmen who were here saying, yeah, there might be a half-an-hour shower. Hopefully that comes in between innings and it doesn't shorten the Durham innings too much. And if that is the case, then hopefully it comes and passes through.
It's tight. Over the wicket, bowling to Lamb. Slashed away through the onside. Has he caught it well enough for 4? He has. Good shot from Lamb. Forcing the ball out towards those bushes again. Travaskis couldn't get across to cut the ball off. And Lamb gets his first boundary off the bowling of AJ Ty out towards that wide long on boundary in front of the pavilion. 4 runs.
Great shot from Laddie, set deep and went across his crease, obviously mid-on and mid-off up here, so he's looking to target down the ground, but yeah, wide with on his option, good option for him.
133 for 5. Ty to Lamb, and playing a miss from Lamb. Ball seemed to bounce a little extra into the gloves of the keeper. Looking to pull it, Lamb.
It certainly did, and obviously with this field, mid-on and mid-off, Ty is going to have to use his bouncer. He's telegraphing that a little bit. He didn't in the first ball, which got clubbed for 4. It'll be interesting to see. I think there'll be a mixture. Obviously, he's got some wonderful slow balls. There's a slow ball up front to Croft. Be a mixture of slow balls, and obviously he will use his bouncer trying to get high on Lamb.
He was up onto his toes and hitting the ball high. Might be caught here. As he is. It's a really good running catch from
the subfielder, I think it is.
Subfielder, yes.
Bushnell, is that right?
It is John Bushnell running back, taking a really good catch. To catch up with it and to get his fingertips on it. Lancashire lost their 6th wicket. Lamb the man out. Subfielder John Bushnell with the catch. Up onto his toes, went high. And running out from that mid-off position towards the boundary. Takes a good catch. Another wicket Lancashire lose.
Yep, it was short. It was telegraphed with that field, and he tried to go over mid-off, and obviously mid-on in the ring. It was a wonderful catch. Made it look easy in the end, but running over your shoulder, never easy. He just come onto the field as a sub fielder. And obviously not fielding the game, not playing in the game, I don't think. Running back, taking a wonderful diving catch, and the rain has started to come a little bit harder.
Yes.
I think what the umpires might try and do, they're not sure, they're having a little look.
They want to try and finish the innings, won't they?
They will, but sometimes the players lead them off, as Durham are running off.
Yes.
So sometimes the players leading off, and that might be the Lancashire innings as such, as we see. But it is coming down at a steady pace now, and it's too wet to continue.
It is.
Sadly,
there is no hover cover, obviously. So the 3 individual covers are all being pushed on by various members of the ground staff and indeed helpers of Blackpool Cricket Club. Everyone's going to chip in for these games, so they're being wheeled out. The chap with a flat cap on there doing his bit as well. Good effort, sir. As they push out the 3 green covers to cover the pitch. And the Lancashire Luke Wood, by the way, the new batter, we're kind of halfway on, and then turns and goes back off and disappears back in towards the dressing room. Stephen Croft unbeaten on 52 from 41 deliveries. Another great knock by Croft. It's 133 for 6. And we've had 4 balls of the 18th over as the rain tumbles, and now the Lancashire players having somewhere to keep nice and dry and warm, but you're going to have to find a brolly if you've got one with you, because there's not much cover inside the ground, and it is absolutely tipping it down now. So if you brought a brolly, then that is outstanding planning, because most people, including Paul and I, are in shorts and t-shirt, because I was putting sun cream on when I first got to the ground, putting factor 15 on. It's now absolutely hammering it down. Yeah,
I didn't expect this. I didn't think that this rain or storm would come as early as it has done. And obviously being in the media marquee, I think it's a popular spot for people to come and take cover. We might be a popular area, as you can see. But yeah, I've got no jacket with me.
No,
so
me
I am shorts and t-shirt. We might need to pull the front down.
We might have
the media box. I think we're getting a bit of rain, heavy rain.
Yes,
he's now thumping down, and we're probably going to have to move back. Otherwise, our equipment will be.
Might have to. I think someone's going to come and pull the cover across, which is excellent. Yeah, we're going to have the cover pulled across the marquee as the rain belts its way in. There's all sorts of cables and wires and various things that need to be covered up, but this is a bit of bad luck, isn't it? I mean, I think we've almost certainly seen the last of the Lancashire innings. I think we can safely say that. There is a bit of grace in terms of what you can do to add on, but I don't think we'll see Lancashire bat again. We just hope that this blows through and we get to see Durham come out and chase whatever it is that will be set for them.
Yeah, you're spot on. There won't be, Lancashire will not be batting again. This is a heavy downpour, and it's going to chew up all Lancashire's innings, and obviously it will chew into the break, obviously the changeover. So there is a small element of time allowed for rain, I think. But there will be, these things take time. Obviously, all the covers have got to go on. It's a heavy downpour. I don't know if you can hear coming through our mics. The tent is not tent. I've now gone into tent. It's a marquee.
Thank you.
If I get completely drenched, I'll be calling it a tent. At the moment, it's a marquee, and there is all ducking for cover. So hopefully, it doesn't last too long. But look, it's a great time for Scott Reed to accustom himself with a kettle and to make a couple of brews.
That's subtle as ever
for his co-commentator.
Yeah. Look, as you can see if you're watching the pictures on Lancs TV, everyone has retreated for some cover inside our marquee. There was a game, it wasn't here, it was at Liverpool a few years back, where it hammered it down, and it hammered it down that much, the rain was coming up through the grass underneath us. So we had our feet in the water, no matter, even though we're under the marquee. Let's hope it doesn't quite get that to that stage.
Well, let's hope so.
No.
There is actually some puddles forming outside the marquee. This is obviously a heavy downpour. There will be some slipping and sliding and people getting out there. But let's hope that it doesn't get to that stage. And it's like the groundsman said, a passing shower would be brilliant, wouldn't it? Yeah, it would be brilliant to get through, pass through, 30 minutes or so, and obviously it clears up again, and then we can get some cricket out there.
Okay, we'll just recap what we've had so far. I'll just bring it up. You can see the score is 133 for 6. We're in the 18th over of the Lancashire Lightning innings. Croft on 52. Wood is yet to get himself his first run. The Lancashire card, Luke Wells out for 21, quick-fire 21 off just 12 deliveries caught by Scott Borthwick off the bowling of Liam Travaskis. Josh Bohannon was bowled by Ben Rain for 4. Rob Jones, LBW to Travaskis for 0 off just 2 deliveries. Tim David, well, he hit the biggest shot of the match so far. He made 16 off 12 balls. He hit the roof of the pavilion for a big blow for 6, but was caught by Rain off Souter, who's bowled beautifully for Durham. And George Bell making his Lancashire debut, 31 from 27, a really impressive knock. A half-century partnership with Stephen Croft. We had that lovely sight of a young lad on debut playing with one of, well, certainly the most experienced player in that team. Over 200 T20 appearances. That was lovely to see Bell and Croft back together. They put on over 50 for their partnership before Bell was eventually caught for 31 off Souter, and then Daniel Lamb was caught well by John Bushnell, the sub-fielder off the bowling of AJ Ty for 5. So that's how Lancashire Lightning are. 4 balls into the 18th over, 133 for 6. It is highly unlikely that Lancashire will continue their innings. We're just hoping at some stage when the rain blows through. We'll take a little look at the bowling figures before we actually finish. Ben Rain, 2 overs, 1 maiden, 1 for 6. Paul Coughlin, 1 over for 17. Liam Travaskis, 4 overs, 2 for 29. Scott Borthwick, 4 overs for 31. Nathan Souter, 4 overs, 2 for 17. And AJ Ty is 4 balls into his 3rd over, 1 for 29. So we will wait to see when the rain passes, how long that will be, how lengthy the delay will be. And the other thing to factor into it, which I think is worth mentioning here, Paul, is what you said as well. Obviously there's no lights here. Light could potentially be an issue. I mean, it shouldn't be. We're in June and it's only 6:45, but could be an issue for me.
Well, anything could be an issue, I guess. I don't think it will be. Look, it is bright. If you're ever going to play a game, it's probably when the longest day of the year was. Was that yesterday?
It was yesterday.
So if you're ever going to get a game without lights, it's probably in and around this time. It is slightly darker with the rain, but I do think at times in T20 cricket we do get on and get out there and get going. It's a white ball. It's not a dark red ball. Yeah, as long as it's not dangerous, I do think the umpires will play through and try to get a game on for this crowd that have piled in. Some of the crowd might be piling out now because they're looking for a bit of cover. Get under a tree somewhere. There's no big storm. It looks like a shower. There's no lightning around, but there is not a great deal of cover into the ground. But hopefully we do see some cricket, and it might be hugely entertaining. It might be a 10 or 12 overs, and there might be 100 or so to get. So let's see what it comes up with.
Just a reminder of the permutations with regards to the group, as Paul has said emphatically that Lancashire have qualified, if not mathematically. They've got 15 points. They're top of the North Group. Birmingham Bears are second with 14 points from 11. Derbyshire are third, 14 points from 11, and Northants are 14 points from 12. So in terms of what happens in terms of actual mathematical certainties, well, 18 points guarantees a top 4 spot. So if Lancashire were to win today, they would move to 17, so they'd be a point away from it. And if they win today and if they win tomorrow at Derbyshire, then that would secure them a top 2 finish as well. We shall see. We're approaching 10 to 7. We're live from Stanley Park in Blackpool. The media marquee, it has swollen in numbers as people come to try and find some cover. For listeners across BBC Radio Lancashire and on the BBC Sport website and app, we're going to hand back to our studio. And for those viewers on Lancashire TV, on Lancs TV, we're going to look back at the highlights so far of the day. Thanks, pal.
Well, welcome back to some live pictures on Lancs TV, which is something of a relief, apart from to say that I am back and live because we have a result, and that is that there is no result. Up on the balconies of the pavilion, the two captains have shaken hands, and we have unfortunately had to end this game because after 17.4 overs and 133 for 6 in the Lancashire Lightning innings against Durham, the heavens opened. The weather in this part of the world has been completely glorious the last few days, and it looks like we're being paid back somewhat. So, given that we have shown you from a distance the press marquee, we thought we'd end our show and say goodbye by informing you that this is frankly the only place that you can go and not get wet, apart from the fact that at the back of it there is a concrete slab that is completely soaked, but let's not worry about that. We'll show you what the scene is out on the field as well, because the covers are on, and the covers will stay on for a good while yet because the rain is still coming down. So what I thought we'd do is just simply say goodbye and say a goodbye to Paul Horton, who is just stand up, Paul, come on. This is the weather that Paul Horton prepared for. How would you say, and with the sunglasses, how would you say marks out of 10 for your preparation in terms of looking at the weather this afternoon?
Yeah, I'm going to give myself a 7. I thought obviously the sunglasses was needed after. It was 28 degrees today. That is balmy hot for Manchester. Obviously we're up here in Blackpool, and now I'm cold and wet. But I'm glad that the marquee has stood the test of a storm in Blackpool. We haven't got wet, and I'm surprised that not more supporters use this as an area to shield from the rain. So
that's because you were the security guard at the front saying nobody else is allowed in here. I'm too important. Look at me.
Yeah, I did see actually, obviously when you pan to Scott and I, we do look like we are on a Caribbean beach somewhere. Obviously my orange shirt has gone down a treat. But look, and then you pan out to the ground and you realise it's a swamp. So yeah, two different distinguishing challenges, obviously. The swamp and obviously my attire dress for the beach. You're lucky because I was going to wear flip-flops. Right, well, yes, even more apt for the beach, which is somewhere in that direction. Paul, lovely to see you again. Thank you very much indeed. Scott, thank you. That's Scott's already texting that he's going to be home a lot earlier than planned, and so the Reed family is going to have to pretend they're all asleep when they get home. Paul is here, Ken is here. Look, this is the hive of activity that makes Lancs TV as accurate statistically, as because of these guys, and beautifully looking. That's because of these guys. So we've got no result, unfortunately, a point each. It means that Lancashire Lightning are extending their lead at the top of the North Group in the Vitality Blast. They're 2 points clear now. A win against Derbyshire tomorrow pretty much seal things for them in terms of the quarter-final spot. So from a very damp, slightly sweaty, and with no expense spared press marquee, it's goodbye for now.